I always give the example too of that, like feelings is like our brain is a computer, and it's just always
Mhm.
constantly computing and trying to like process what's going on in life. So if someone just stepped on your foot, of course you're going to feel angry, or more than likely you would feel angry. So it's like, why is feelings just so suppressed and such like judged badly when it's literally your brain is doing what it's supposed to be doing? And whoever said that feelings wasn't okay, whether if it's a man or a woman? And then so here are these men, some that are like extremely affected by not allowing themselves to feel feelings. I also heard too that like if you're having like a really tough feeling, to not just feel it, but to like double it, triple it, quadruple it, and then to hug it and to love it.
What's up, you beautiful beasts? I'm Katie, and I'm on a mission to help people become their favorite versions of themselves and build whole human health by healing their relationship with food and movement, healing their relationship with their body, and most importantly, healing their relationship with themselves. And we are doing that without obsessing over a number on a scale. I've had the honor of talking with all kinds of incredible humans who have lived through all kinds of experiences because that's part of being a human. Life is messy, painful, beautiful, complicated, and transformative, and sometimes all at once. I wholeheartedly believe that every time someone shares their story, somebody listening will take something from it. Maybe they'll feel seen, maybe they'll feel inspired, maybe they'll learn something that shifts the way they see themselves, their life, their health, or what healing can look like. This podcast tells the stories of humans healing, growing, rebuilding self-trust, and unveiling their beautiful beast. Keep listening. This is the Unveiling the Beast podcast. So you have a 9-year-old and a 13-year-old.
I do.
Bless your heart.
Thank you.
Yeah, I asked the teenager question because he's starting to say things that a teenager would say, and I'll be like, I'm not ready for that yet. Or like, I'll joke around and be like, oh, my precious sweet baby angel. And the other day I added my precious sweet baby angel offspring. And he goes, offspring, huh? He's like, he's nice. So cute. But anyway, I'm a weirdo like that with him, but we're weird together. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have to be weird with them.
Well, welcome to the Unveiling the Beast podcast.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for the
I'm glad
opportunity.
You're here. Yeah. And I just want to make sure it's Kitsy Higgins.
Yes, correct. Yep. That was very good. That was very good.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about who you are and why you think you are who you are. You have an hour. Go.
So I help women create. I know I'm thrilled. I'm like, we're going to touch on many things. I help women create a life they're obsessed about. And I do that with essentially manifesting, intuition, and then like life coaching. And there's two parts to it. One, I just put out a post on Facebook talking about how I feel this world is inverted. It's truly like, it's like set for us to only, well, two things. One is that for women to not really live authentically. And then two, to like just be like happy as your baseline, and that this world isn't really set up for like those higher vibration, which is like joy, peace, feeling amazing. The more we can work on healing ourselves to get to that place, the better. And we can allow other people to do the same. And then we're getting more into coherence. So brain and heart, which is good. And then the more we get to those feelings, the more we are creating life in those feelings automatically. So the more we can heal ourselves and feel peace, the more we will attract peace in our lives, which is what we need more of. Yeah. So I'm slowly but surely helping people, one, to live more authentically, and then two, healing themselves so that they can really create a life that they love and a life that feels amazing, feels peaceful, feels joyful, which is I mean, think of all the people you know, like really be like, are they living that type of life? And more than likely they're not.
Yeah. Authenticity is like the, I want to say, theme of everything I do. Like, I'm a health coach. I hate the labels, but I mean, being yourself, the beast, unveiling the beast. The beast is your true authentic self. And then the veils are like the layers that the world puts on you
Yeah.
your whole life. And like we end up with beliefs we don't even know where they came from. Are they
Yeah.
ours? I don't know. So
Right.
I love the whole
Right.
authenticity piece because when you can figure out how to live as yourself, it does bring that peace.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you. What would you say to the person who doesn't know who the hell they are?
Yeah. So it's really funny. I've had like a lot of, you're like talking and there's like little ping, 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 little like insights coming in. I'm like, oh, yeah, I love to talk about this. Oh, I love to
Yeah.
talk about it. And I feel that there's like the biggest thing to that is just societal norms. Like a year ago, I was saying, first I was looking at your arms. I was like, dang, your arms look good. So that explains
My
your
arms?
arms. Yeah, your arms they look at tone.
Thank you.
But so I was complimenting you a little bit. The societal norms. So I realized to myself that I didn't think I was pretty because of societal norms. And so I was essentially not accepting who I was, not accepting my beauty, not accepting my uniqueness, my like, okay, like yes, I'm overweight, but there's still pieces of me that are unique and really beautiful and pretty. And so it was like, yeah, but like I don't fit into the societal norm. And then it's like, who the fuck cares about societal
I
norms?
was just gonna say,
Like,
fuck the societal norm.
yeah. Like, okay, like who cares if I don't blend in? Who cares if I'm not the norm of pretty? Then that like if I don't accept who I am, if I don't accept the pieces of me that are beautiful, well, then I'm really not it's just altogether, it's horrible. And so I was like, well, what is like the only reason why it's societal norms is because someone said that that was like the proper thing and the proper
Hmm.
look and the proper this. Who's that someone? And who keeps saying that over and over again? Like, who? Like, for me, I am very much in my body. I feel my feelings a lot. I have deep feelings. I'm a deep person. And so to some people, they may be like, she's really beautiful because she's in her body. She stays out of her head and she's I don't know, some days I'm feminine. Um I was just dancing in my car and a cop saw me dancing. And I'm like, hey, I almost rolled down my window and was like, when was the last time you danced? Like, no, just danced. But I was like, whatever. But and so like he saw me in that moment of just being feminine, of loving life, of joyful, of
Hmm.
happiness. And so to me, it's like the more we're making excuses on what's wrong with us, societal norms, or I'm big, or I have a big nose, or I have this, or I don't blend in, the more we are just taking away our uniqueness and beauty that we all have. The other thing too was I heard too recently that said that like a lot of people are insecure and it's not just the one size over that are insecure. It's like kind of like everyone. And so I
Yeah.
saw this stunning woman behind the bar and I was talking to the coworker and I was like, yeah, I heard that. And she said, and I was like look at her. I'm like, she's stunning. And she's like, she has her own shit though. And so it was like my point
Yeah.
exactly of that. It doesn't matter how amazingly attractive you are, unless if we've done our confidence work and become secure in whatever way, um, then we're all in that place. Like we don't fit in. Or we're not accepting ourselves. And so I was just like, okay, either I make excuses why I don't accept myself and I don't accept my beauty, or I just accept it. And what I'm learning too is that this society is not set up for women to be confident.
Mm-hmm.
It's not set up for women to be in their worth. Because if they step into their worth and they create their life, and then they create a life that's kind of like outside of the norm, and they create a life that like may really shift things. Oh, we'll just call it like that. Like if you're like, I'm worthy of a man that's like head over heels in love with me, and then if we create that, then people are gonna see that and be like, wait, I want that too. And then they're gonna do the work possibly, or they're gonna do something to make that
Mm-hmm.
happen. And then it's a whole shift.
Yeah.
Ah,
I want to go back to you dancing in your car.
okay.
Because I had
Yeah, I
this,
was like, I just touched on 10 topics. Let's go.
yeah, I had this thought, like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm very childlike. This weekend I was bouncing in my son's bouncy house because his birthday party was on Sunday, 6/7. Um, like I'll jump head first onto my bed. I'm super childlike, but when you are speaking, I had this thought in my head, like, why is that childlike? And
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's how we are when we're children. And at some point we're told we can't be that way.
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna go in the bouncy house. You know what I mean? And so like,
Mhm.
and it's funny too, I'm gonna share like a kind of off story. I went to Six Flags this weekend, also big birthday weekend, with me, my husband, our son, and our best friend couple and their daughter. And
Mhm.
so my husband and that mom, they don't do roller coasters. So they sat and did like the grown-up thing. And then I went, like me and then her husband, and we went and we did the kids stuff. And we were joking around like, okay, those two are sitting over there talking about financial institutions and bunion surgery, and we're gonna be over here like, I farted. But anyway, that's like an example of
Wow.
like I always think of myself as childlike, and I love bringing my inner child out. But why is it childlike? Why is it just not playful and fun and like letting go of the rules of how we're supposed to be as adults? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, I mean, and that's true too, because it was like I was looking at things as like societal norms and kind of putting it in that bucket, which is true too, of like, why
Yeah.
does going on a roller coaster or doing a bouncy house, why does it have to be considered childlike? Well, so what would that be called then? Let's figure that out. What would that be called?
I think it's more than just being fun, because it's fun, but
Living a
it's
playful life?
playful.
Yeah.
We both said
Well, the other
playful. That's
thing
what it
too,
is.
which is what I hear, like men like women that are playful, and I am playful. Not all the time. That's not all the time. You got to catch
Hmm.
me. But like
Right.
I have a swing. There's a playground, and there's sometimes where my inner child will feel sad, and I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Like, well, how can I make you happy? And it's like, I want to go swing. I'm like, okay, let's go swinging.
Hmm.
Just leave and we'll go swinging, and it doesn't have to be long. It's like maybe 10 minutes. um I had a childhood dollhouse that the one friend I was friends with when I was like 12, she's like, oh, why are you still playing with dolls? And then I felt shamed after that, and so i started to um I started to I let go of dolls altogether. But a year ago my mom's like, here, take this dollhouse, which I'm literally staring at right now. I need to get dolls for it. But because I hear playing with dolls is a great way to manifest. But again, that's like another
Hmm.
example. And like that's playful, is playing with dolls and jumping on trampolines and going. I
Hmm.
just think that like the world is so set up for just like working 9 to 5, coming home, making your bed, doing laundry. Okay, do it again. I don't think that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. But also back to your point, I had somebody actually posted a video in the bouncy house like yesterday. And one of my friends commented, I love how much you love life. And I said, it has to be intentional because what did I say? I want to like read it to you. It said something like, I make it intentional that way because there's a lot of shit going on. Like you have to create the space for fun and playfulness so that you can get through all the hard shit that's going on in your life.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
it's
what I
also you have
mean?
to cultivate
Mhm.
fun or playfulness so that you can do that. And like I've started wearing dresses, which is like the first time I've ever worn dresses. And I'm like, to me, I feel like that's playful too,
Mhm.
is a way of doing that, of like, I'm gonna be playful. And sometimes if I'm waiting in line, I'll just start like twirling. They said like
That's
a
cool.
good way to go and do is to see little girls and like just an al natural and just watch them and see what they do. And then for you to do it. So like skip or like, like swirl around or do all that stuff. I also started asking the question of like, how do I become even more in alignment with myself? And I had this weird situation where I suppose I helped someone's kid who got hurt. And she
Mhm.
whispered in my ear and said, "You don't realize how powerful of a healer you are." And she was like, whatever you choose to do in life, I want to be behind you 100% and support you. She's because you shifted things that day. And I'm still like wrapping my brain around it. And so I'm like, the more we can say and ask, how do we become more in alignment with ourselves? The more we can allow ourselves to allow those innate gifts
Mhm.
and to allow gifts to kind of come out. Like, where are we not being true to ourselves? We might have to ask that every day for the rest of our lives because this society has just ingrained us into things that may not be truly authentically us,
Yeah.
which is crazy and sad.
I'm purposely leaving silence right there so it can sink in for the listeners.
I think too, it's just an opportunity to, and it's almost like you almost have to like do a conscious every day of like, how am I shifting from just asking that question? Like for me, I started that, what was it, in March? And so since March, I've drastically changed the way how I dress. What else? Oh, that's the thing I wanted to talk about was, are you familiar with the horror Madonna complex?
The horror Madonna complex. No. But I mean,
So
the two words go.
they don't go together. No, so there's this belief that some people have this belief that you can either only be a mom or be a sexual object. And you can't be one you can't be both. You can only be one. And so that's the other thing I've really wrestled with, kind of just by fluke over the last few months. I had all these clothes that my mom gave to me from her friend who was like 70. She
Mhm.
died. And so I was like, yeah, sure. I'll like wear free clothes. I'll take it. I don't care.
Hell
And
yeah.
yeah, like most people would be like, that's fine. It's not really my style, but it's free. And I felt like an old woman. I felt like I was like over 50. I felt like I was just going to just live a normal life and that's all. And then I was like, this is so not me. They've never been me. And, is this really the version of me that I want to be and look for the rest of my life? And I'm like, heck no. And so that also got me starting to wear dresses. I was like, well, what would feel amazing? What would feel good? And the awful question of what would make me feel sexy?
Kitty.
Excuse me.
Hi. Sorry, I'm a cat lady.
I know it's all good. It's all good. But it's also the question of what would make me feel sexy.
Mhm.
And it doesn't have to be like extremely like over sexual, but like what would make me feel good about myself.
And the key word
And
is you. What would make you, not
yeah,
what would make everyone else think
anyone
you are, what would
else,
make
right?
you feel that way.
Yeah, what would
Yeah.
make you feel sexy? And so I also had to grapple with the fact of how can I feel sexy, which I think I do want to feel, because I don't feel my life is totally over. I'm a single woman. I'm turning another age soon, but still that doesn't matter. I was like, I still want to like kind of have what is it? That like little zhuzh to my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, how can I have that zhuzhiness but still be respectful? Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't want to be at the bus line and like all these parents being like, oh my God, she's such a whore. Like, I don't need that. But I also want it where I don't feel like I'm just a mom. And so I don't wear long dresses. I wear dresses like to my knee or a little bit above it.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are very form fitting or they're very tight. Um, and that's fine. And I don't care. And I enjoy it. I try to keep my cleavage minimal. That's
Mm-hmm.
me. That's how I try to respect myself. But so just in the last 3 months, I have shifted the way I dress because I want to feel good. And then the I just feel like I'm stepping more into my feminine. It's very interesting. And then again, the societal norm is that, no, mom should just look proper.
Mm-hmm.
And I also realized that that was what was wrong with my marriage, was that either I or him, when we had kids and after my kids were born, we acted very differently. Like sex had decreased. And I
Mm-hmm.
think to myself in a way that either me or him had that belief. And so and I've heard that that is more of a collective belief. It's women are either one or the other. And so the more we can say, who cares about society? What feels good for me? Do I want to feel sexy? Do I want to feel amazing? Do I want to feel successful? Well, what does that look like to you? And how can you bring that into your life? Which is huge.
I'm gonna put a link in the show notes. I wish it was an affiliate link, but it's not. I have this tank top that says MILF in training.
Ah, I don't know if I'm ready for that, but
I don't wear it to school or anything, but
oh my God.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Like it's all these rules, rules, rules,
Yeah.
rules, and like whose rules are they really?
Yeah. Well, I
You
think they're
know?
men's rules, and I think they're rules that are purposely trying to keep us minimal, keep us dimmed,
Hmm.
us not being truly authentic to who we are. And there's something to being authentic. I don't know what it is. It's they do say that being authentic is the highest vibration, and that when you step into authenticity, what is it that like you affect like thousands of people or millions? So I don't know if it's that. I don't know, but there's luckily people like us are slowly but surely like turning the tides and being like, I don't care if this is what's happened for 50 years. We're doing me,
Hmm. Yeah.
which is there needs people who are doing that.
Yeah. I love what you're doing too, and like figuring out what you want to wear.
Yeah.
Not like was it like this moment that you had like, do I wear this because I want to wear this, or am I wearing like with your old wardrobe? Was it
Oh,
just like an aha or
I can't even remember that. Um, I think it was for like a few weeks. I was like looking at my clothes, being like, they don't fit me for where I feel I'm going, and they don't
Mhm.
fit me. They don't fit me at all. Like they don't. Like a lot of them were stripes, which I love stripes, but they were like just the style was kind of more baggier. Um, it just to me, I feel like they were almost like less appealing. Like they just made you look at me and be like, oh, I could almost see someone look at me and be like, she's given up on life. Like she's just like totally accepted that this is her life and that's all that's left.
Yeah.
And now I feel like if someone looked at me, what would they say? Either they would say, it seems like the best is still yet to be, or she's getting her spark back, or like a zest back.
A glow up.
Yeah. I guess you could say that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I just, like you were saying before, people are so insecure, but they were taught to be insecure without the words saying
Mm-hmm.
you need to be insecure. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what we learn. We're shut down for being us, being
Mm-hmm.
loud, being too
Mm-hmm.
much, being not enough, all of the things. And then we grow up and that child that was suppressed is still there. You
Mm-hmm.
keep This is little Katie.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I know.
encourage people
I gotta
to,
find a photo.
yeah, but just, be that child. That child needs attention still.
Mm-hmm. So much. Yeah, it's so important.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the first part of the journey is just being like I'm gonna be and give you a voice and allow that to take place. I think that's the whole shift of everything. Yeah, it's really important.
Yeah.
I always give the example too of that like feelings is like our brain is a computer and it's just
Mm-hmm.
always constantly computing and trying to like process what's going on in life. So if someone just stepped on your foot, of course you're going to feel angry, or more than likely you would feel angry. So it's like, why is feelings just so suppressed and such like judged badly when it's literally your brain is doing what it's supposed to be doing? And whoever said that feelings wasn't okay, whether if it's a man or a woman? And then so here are these men, some that are like extremely affected by not allowing themselves to feel feelings. I also heard too that like if you're having like a really tough feeling, to not just feel it, but to like double it, triple it, quadruple it, and then to hug it and to love it.
Mm,
So you are like I've done that with shame. It's like instead of me running away from it and ignoring it, it's make it so big and then love on it. And I did that. I feel like now it's like I can feel shame and it like comes up. It's like, okay, that's what I'm feeling. And then it just leaves. Now it's like so much more manageable.
mm,
And
yeah.
that's the other thing too, is that like it's really important that if we're having these feelings, like we're doing our best to figure out how can I solve this within me
Yeah.
rather than being like, so right now I'm going through a period where sometimes I have moments of loneliness. And it's like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing on the outside of my life. I got to do that within me. What part of me am I not accepting? What part of me have I not opened? What part of me am I not embracing? What part of me have I dismissed or abandoned that is like trying to show up? And I just need to give it permission to truly come.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it's so easy that like we get into like, okay, I'm feeling lonely. Now I got to go and hang out with new people. That's part of it, but it's also the inner work of like what's within you that feels lonely.
Yeah. I recently did a video on sort of that topic where it's like, do you ever feel like you're texting and talking to people all day and you still feel lonely?
Hmm.
So
Right.
listeners, I'll link that in the show notes. But yeah,
It's,
it's a lot of how do you feel when you're hanging out with yourself?
yeah.
How do you feel about you when you're alone?
Yeah. It's hard too because like yesterday, like I felt alone twice with my kids at home, which is weird. And my son's like, why are you feeling alone? We're here. So I was like, which is weird. Like, how is it that you're feeling that when you're with people? Um, so I'm trying to like be like, okay, well, if I'm feeling alone, and maybe a part of me wants to play. And then so I'll
Mm-hmm.
be like, "Sure, let's go play football." And then it kind of goes away. It's weird. It's weird how, like what you said, how you can feel those even if you're with people. What was the advice you gave to them?
There are different things, like different ways to reach out to other people, but I can't remember the rest of it. But I mean, it is like a soul searching. It's
Yeah,
like what part of me isn't being filled up, and
yeah,
why am I necessarily relying on outside sources to fill it up for me? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is kind of the same thing I'm saying too. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
what piece of me am I not acknowledging, or what piece of me wants to come out right now?
Yeah. I've been
I
in a
think
place
it's,
where, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've been in a place where like I'm in a crowd and I feel invisible and it's lonely. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Have you ever been there?
I don't know if I
It's
felt that, but I mean, that's very
yeah.
possible.
And it's a weird feeling because it's like there's all these people here and it's just me.
I wonder if you felt, did you also feel unsafe? Is that why you felt invisible?
No. No, it's back when I didn't have a good relationship with myself, honestly. Because now like I'll go to
Mhm.
Six Flags by myself. That's a big crowd and I'm by myself and I feel alone but not lonely because there's a
Yeah.
big difference.
Right. Like that's
Yeah.
my thing too, is how is it that like I can be home alone for a day and not feel lonely? Yet when I'm with my kids, I feel lonely.
Hmm.
I'm like, why? Like you would think I would be feeling, or maybe I'm just staying busy. My kids are away. And maybe that's why I'm not feeling it then. But still, I was home alone for like a good six, like, I don't know. So it is like, maybe it is that part of me that's like, I want to play and do that. Um, I wondered about the unsafe because of like, if you're feeling unseen, is like there was a part of you that felt uncomfortable, truly not allowing people to see you. So as much as you were feeling the unseen or the invisible, I
Hmm.
wondered if there was a part of you that was also like, we're going to hide. Ah,
Yeah, I would say for sure. Yeah, back then.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting about the loneliness, though.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun that we still have work to do.
Yeah, I talk about that frequently. Like I used to think that healing was a destination. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
do all this inner work and then I'm gonna show up and I'll be healed. And it's just like, no, you're still alive, so things are still gonna happen, and then you're gonna work through
Yeah.
that, and then this thing will happen, and then you'll work through that. And it's just this constant, and it doesn't mean you're always broken. I gotta clarify that for the
Yeah.
listeners. It doesn't mean you're always broken. It means you're living.
Yeah. Well, that's just, it's like one of those things where it's like we just think that we're like there's only five facets to us. No, we're like,
Right.
we're so much more faceted than that. So much. There's so much to us, and we're constantly growing and we're constantly shifting. And what might have made sense for us one day doesn't make sense for us another day. Or one
Yeah.
year doesn't make sense the second year.
Yeah. Every day is different. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. It's like we're constantly blossoming. If we allow ourselves, there was a guy I was dating, and I think it was an excuse. Actually, I think we were in a relationship. But he's like, you're just changing all the time. And I was like, oh, then you probably don't need a healer or like a coach like me, or like it's like I'm constantly like, shifting all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, he probably deserves some woman that's like just some 9 to 5 job. That's just like a steady woman that like is totally fine being who she is. And either one, she's already found herself, or two, has no interest at all of finding
Mm-hmm.
herself.
Yeah.
And I was like, that would be a slow death for me. Ah,
Yeah. I want to constantly be changing and healing and figuring
yeah,
things out, you know?
growing and evolving.
Mm-hmm.
It's so valuable. Or to me, I feel it's valuable.
I'm going to take a hard left.
Yeah, I love that.
This is the podcast of stories, and
Mhm.
I'm curious if you are open and willing to share any story that you probably do have because you're a human of like the word coming to me is triumph or um like a big aha moment that totally shifted the way you live your life or
Yeah,
like oh hell no, I'm not taking this shit anymore, any kind of anything like
yeah,
that where your whole life just went and you shifted.
yeah. There's a story that's coming to my mind, and I don't know if, for whatever reason, I feel like I'm meant to be talking about it. I don't know if your listeners are familiar with Reiki.
Some of
It's
them
a
are, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
technique for relaxation and stress reduction. So I went into Reiki like 2006, and nothing. I got nothing. My Reiki master would have these Reiki circles, and I would come to them sometimes once a month, sometimes once a week, sometimes once a year. But over those 3 years, I would feel nothing. I would sense nothing. It was Sometimes it was torture.
Mm.
And then all these people in the circle would be like, "Oh my God, I saw my grandmother and she was baking me banana pudding." And you're just like, fuck that. But, or, them being like, "Oh, I'm seeing Jesus and he's telling me how amazing I am," or "I'm seeing rainbows." And you're just like, so unfair. I felt it was a very interesting time in my life because it kind of like you felt jealous all the time because all these
Yeah.
other people were having these amazing experiences. And so and then people would be like, "Oh, I'm hearing spirit," or I'm whatever. So they were constantly like experiencing their intuition. And I don't know if it was a belief I had or what. And I just never got anything. It was horrible. And then, but I kept going because I knew that Reiki was helping me. I felt like it was calming me down. It's helping me process emotions. It was benefiting me. And just that relaxation period was good. And so the one day I drove a car from Pittsburgh to Phoenix, Arizona. And I did stop at Sedona at some point also, which is fun. So when I was driving, I said, I pray to God that I get there safely. And all of a sudden, I heard a voice say, "If you drive there safely, you'll get there safely." And I thought, valid point. And I was like, who the fuck is that? Look, that was my second cry. I was like, good point. Who was that? And I was like, oh my God, I think that was spirit. And after that, I drove there safely. I purposely, like, I still went fast, but I didn't like get crazy. And after that was a total shift after that. I don't know what transpired. I don't know if it was Sedona that like shifted my energy or something, but that shifted. And now I've helped women trust their intuition for over a decade. And uh I feel that intuition is one of the biggest things how, us women can really trust things. Um, I've also heard too that when we trust our intuition, you can also pick up on when like people are lying to you. So if you're like,
Mhm.
"What did you do on Friday night?" And they're like, "Oh, I did nothing." And you're like, "That doesn't feel right." And being like, "I don't feel right about this." And then hopefully they're honest. And then if they're honest, you can make a decision. Should I leave or not? Or if they're not being honest and it still feels off, you just walk away. And so like intuition is so valuable. So that was really hard over those years of not hearing and feeling anything. I think it's one of those things that sometimes the teacher has the hard life because we're meant to like be that person when someone says, well, I sat for a year in meditation, I got nothing. And you're like, okay, I sat for 3 years in circles. I never got anything. You're fine, keep going. But so that was like a huge triumph. And I kind of didn't stop until I got it. And I still think, again, intuition is just huge.
Yeah. 2 questions came to me. I'm going to ask. Where do you think the shift happened? Like, do you think something opened up in your mind to finally allow yourself to hear your intuition?
All I can think is that I think it was something to do with that trip in Sedona.
Okay.
I think it was being in that energy or going to be in that energy. I think that might have, because there's vortexes there. I just always think to myself, maybe there was a vortex, but that like shifted the energy or shifted something. I do also believe too about like family generational trauma, that it's a possibility that just no one had really tapped into intuition, and that family or one of my families, and that maybe it was just really blocked. I don't know. But I feel that my whole life changed after that. I really came more in faith to my intuition. I again, intuition is still a huge part of my business. Because I do think a lot of people say, you know, my intuition is telling me this, but I don't know if I should or not. It's like,
Yeah.
trust it.
What do you say to the person who has a hard time connecting to their own intuition because of outside voices?
Oh, that's a good question. Outside voices being like family members that are like, that do what?
Like instead of them listening to themselves, they try to look outside of themselves for the answers.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, I don't know about you, but I get nervous sometimes of like, well, if I take this intuition, I might fuck up my life. I might fuck this up. I might fuck that up. I might fuck this up. So I think it is. So I think that's very normal, and I think that's realistic to feel concerned of like, well, if I trust myself on this, I could blow this up. But which is very valid. I remember back in the day, like I would go to like all these people for dating advice. And because I couldn't trust myself, well, they didn't have YouTube back then, which I think YouTube's amazing. But I think it's one of those things of that's a really good question. I think it's just kind of taking one step at a time and trusting that whatever happens is truly meant for you. And if you screw that up and that person leaves your life, then to trust for whatever reason I was meant to do that. I make a lot of decisions that feel amazing. So like I'll be like, okay, I need to go to a coffee shop. What feels amazing to go to? And then I'll just have like, boop, with this photo show up. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do that. And what's amazing is me doing that. What happened? I did that the one day. And I went to this one event and I connected with this woman on such a deep level. I was like, that was amazing. And then I went to this other bar because I was like, that feels amazing to go to it too. And I went and chit-chatted with a bartender and we connected. It was a great time. I was like, this was amazing too. And so maybe just saying, you know, what feels amazing and then just trying that out at first, or being like, which option feels better, and then trusting it and then seeing if it really pans out or not. That could be like a good place where you trust it. But yeah, it's I think it's hard because so much of the world is kind of the opposite. So it's like, well, what if I do this and then I push this person away? Well, you got to just trust that for whatever reason that was somehow for the best.
Yeah. I
Which
love
is
that
scary
question.
to think.
I love that question. What feels amazing to go to versus what do I feel like eating, or what do I feel like it shifts what feels amazing. It kind of goes into that concept. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And like I did readings for many years, like mediumship readings, psychic readings. And all the time people would ask me questions. And if it wasn't like an automatic loud yes, it was a no. It's true. And that's like another good thing too, of being like, okay, I want to ask a question to it. And then truly being okay. And really like if it's not obvious yes, it's a no. I think there is, what is it? I think we have powers as women that like people just don't get. That like it's so easy just to brush away and be like, it's not true. I hired this coach. It was $27,000. It was $20,000 one time payment, or in increments 27,000. And I thought, I'm going to do that option because I want the biggest of the biggest healing. But I was like, what would it feel like to work with her? And it felt amazing of the amazing. It felt like the light of 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 the light. So I felt like it was just massively shifting and grateful and amazing. And I've had some shit things happen over the last few years, but my life is amazing. And I think to myself, if I did not make that decision, I'd be still probably in like a loveless marriage that like just felt like a brother to me.
Yeah.
I'd more prefer to be alone and like loving life, enjoying my life, doing things that bring me joy, than to be with someone that does not truly value and appreciate me.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Yeah, but it's a pen.
Yeah, I'll take it. Pin drop. Yeah. And so that like saying yes to that. And again, like I literally probably caused my divorce with that decision. So be it. So be it.
Mm.
And now I feel like I have a life that's so more in alignment with who I am.
I was hoping you'd say the word alignment. I was like, alignment. She's gonna say it, and you said it.
I did. Yeah. I had a dream. I was like, I'll just live in that house, which is the marital house. And then, but that place never brought me joy. And then I didn't even know where home was. And this person's like, what do you consider home? And I was like, I don't know. And I said, when I left this part of the city in Pittsburgh, I cried when I left the street. But like the last time I drove the street. And she's like, that sounds like home to me. I was like, I think you might be right. And so I moved back here and I pay more in rent. I pay more in mortgage, but like, it's just me. I love the city where I live. The schools are great. And even my mom, she's like, oh, you shouldn't be like raising city boys. I was like, I don't care. I love this area. Do you want your grandkids to have a mom that loves her life or a mom that hates her life?
Mm-hmm.
And she was totally against it, but she was like, I'm doing what's best for me, which will eventually be what's best for them.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that has really, because it's true. If you're not joyful, how are you going to impact your kids in a proper, happy way?
1,000,000%.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for validating that.
You're welcome. Well, I value your time. And so I have one more question for you.
Mhm.
And that is, if everybody in the entire world stopped what they were doing and looked at you and said, Kitsy, please give me some advice, what would you said? What would you said? What would you say?
What would I have said? Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost feel like I just want to say of like, do what feels right for you, not what feels right for others. and to trust that what might be right for you. One, you might be either ahead, or two, me stepping into dressing sexier. Like, I think a lot of people would have said like, oh, you don't need to do that. And that's going to cost a lot of money. And, you shouldn't be, you're only doing it to get attention. And so I did this change for me, no one else, for me, because I want to feel a specific way. So it's that question of, and reminding you that, you have to make decisions that are right for you and not worry about other people. Same thing with moving back to the city that I love. Again, was against other people's viewpoints. Saying yes to that $27,000 coaching program, again, was like against the grain, against other people's decisions, against other people's, what they would have said was wrong. And so we just have to trust that what feels right for us.
Boom. Beautiful beasts. Kitsy Higgins signing off. Until next
Thank
time.
you.